What does the future of Star Trek look like after the cancellation of Starfleet Academy? Hi, I'm Jordan the Nerd of Gold, and we as fans really don't know the answer to that right now. Everything is basically rumors and just anger at the cancellation at it, and understandably so. It's a good show, and it's sad to see it go. All we're certain of right now is that there's a movie being developed by the guys who did Dungeons & Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. We've got the final 2 seasons of Strange New Worlds coming out, and the 2nd season of Starfleet Academy. That's all that's certain right now. But at the moment, it's not really clear, and I think that if we look to the future of Star Trek is still Star Trek is still a priority for David Ellison, son of Larry Ellison, who is friend to the current administration, which that doesn't bode well for the future of Star Trek, because Star Trek has been historically a progressive franchise. But that being said, David Ellison doesn't appear to be quite his father's son on the same degree, so maybe there's hope for it. He did work on the 2009 films, or 2009 franchise starting with the Kelvin timeline, so there's hope that he still loves Star Trek enough that maybe he takes a couple steps back and we end up in the TNG era, which even if we end up back in the TNG era or like just beyond it, that's still going to be fairly progressive science fiction. Might be toned down comparatively with what we've gotten with Discovery, in the new Trek era, but I still think it will be, relatively speaking, still Star Trek. I don't necessarily think we're going to get conservative Star Trek, as some people are like fearful of, and that's an understandable concern. I'm not trying to doubt that, but we got to point out that David Ellison also donated to the 2024 Kamala Harris campaign, which puts him slightly at odds with it. And I know some people say two sides the same coin and all that. I'm not disagreeing that or really going to go too much further on that. But it just points to the fact that he may not be quite the same person in how he puts his weight on the thumb there as his dad on that front. So there is, I think, still a small amount of hope for Star Trek being Star Trek, just maybe not Star Trek as we've gotten used to it in this new era. So fingers crossed that Star Trek still remains itself, and this is just kind of a temporary business move for the most part.